From the studios, it is Election Yard. We are back because now we're going to talk about special elections that happen on March 3rd. So they were very much overshadowed on the 3rd by the primaries going on in Texas, Arkansas, and North Carolina. But Arkansas actually is a big factor in this video tonight because, as you can see from our screen, the Democrats actually did get their second state legislative flip of the year in Arkansas. So that's another one on the board for them, but we'll go through the other results and then we'll work our way to that big result in Arkansas. Before we go forward, in the last special election video, we were talking about the Pennsylvania special elections, and we reported on the race in Allentown, that special election. We thought we had incomplete results. We shared them anyway, and that we thought it would be a Democratic overperformance. Well, we did get the final results, and it was a pretty sizable Democratic overperformance. So that is reflected in the totals you'll see at the end of this video. So let's start first with a special election that I don't think anyone expected to be competitive. This one is in Massachusetts. So we'll take you now to the 1st Middlesex Senate District in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. You see that blue district right along the border. So we'll put some cities on there. So this district only has 5 towns or cities in it. So the main voter base here is in the city of Lowell, but then you also have Dracut, Tyngsboro, Dunstable, and Pepperell in this district. So you got towns like Townsend to your west, you've got Methuen to your east, and then you've got Nashua, New Hampshire to your north. And some of those towns in the Nashua area on the New Hampshire side on the border are pretty red. So did that have any effect on this district? Well, no. So this was a Democratic hold, Vanna Howard getting 58% of the vote. This was a really interesting race because there was an independent here, Joseph Espinola. He got 18.6% of the vote, while the Republican Sam Mees only got 23% of the vote. So we do have a swing here. It was a pretty sizable swing for the Democrats to the independents of about 12 points. Doesn't matter. The Democrats still won the seat by about 35 points. So the Democratic vote was down about 5 points from the 2024 general election, but the Republican vote was down even more. So can we calculate whether or not there was an overperformance or an underperformance for the Democrats? And we can, because there was a Democrat and a Republican in this race. So the Democrats did do better here than Kamala Harris did. Kamala Harris only won this district, Massachusetts though it is, by about 11 points in 2024. The Democrats did win it by 35 here, but even if that independent vote all went to the Republicans, it still would have been a Democratic overperformance of at least a few points. So we have it as a Democratic overperformance of 24 points. But again, even if all of those votes that the independent got went to the Republican, it still would have been a Democratic overperformance. So we feel comfortable putting that on the board. And now finally, before we move on to the Arkansas special elections, take a look now at the new Massachusetts State Senate. So Massachusetts is a very blue state. They got veto-proof majorities. Not that Governor Maura Healey has anything to worry about there. The Democrats now back up to 35 out of 40 seats in the Mass State Senate. And we move on now to Arkansas. And this is the race that I think everyone wants to talk about tonight. So you see that little red dot in the middle of the screen. That is the 70th House District in the state of Arkansas. And you'll see where it is relative to a few other cities in Arkansas, just north of the capital of Little Rock. And then you see Fort Smith out there to the west, which will matter for the next special election that we talk about. So this is north of Little Rock. It definitely has some Republican areas in it, but it also has some pretty Democratic precincts. Now, we did our own calculations of the precincts in this district. Some other analysts did their own. I've seen some analysts say that Kamala Harris won this district by about 2 points. I came up with about half a point, just highlighting the precincts that I did. Either way, I think you would be able to comfortably say that Kamala Harris won this district by maybe about a point or so in 2024, but the Republicans had held it until tonight. And why is that? Because Alex Holiday has given the Democrats their second state legislative flip of the year, and he won big. He got about 63.7% of the vote on the numbers that we have. The Republican Brian Renshaw, 36.3. So a swing to the Democrats from the November 2024 general election of about 14.7 points, and the Democrats winning this seat by 27. So given that we've established that Kamala Harris won this by anywhere from 1 vote to 2%, we came up again with about a half a point margin here. It doesn't matter because it is a very, very sizable Democratic overperformance here of about 27 points. According to our calculation, even if we were a little off on the margin, I'm not sure that we are, but even if we were, it would still be a huge Democratic overperformance here. So now let's take a look at the new Arkansas House of Representatives. So it's a very red state. Didn't used to be, but it is now. So the Republicans still have 80 seats, which means 80% of the 100 seats. And the Democrats are back up to 20. So the last special election we need to talk about right now in Arkansas, this is Senate District 26. You can see that red district out in the western part of the state, which just borders Fort Smith and gets into some pretty conservative areas. So the Democrats did not run a candidate in this race. There was a Republican and an independent. And in the end, the Republican Brad Simon won the race with about 68.8% against the independent Adam Watson, who for an independent did okay, but I'm sure it was probably a lot of Democrats that just ended up voting for him. About 31.2%, a margin of about 4,100 votes for the Republican, who will now join the Arkansas State Senate, which is 29-6 in favor of the GOP. So now it's time to go to the big board, kind of like Jerry Lewis at the end of the telethon. We're going to total up all the numbers, because we have been tracking every special election that has happened so far, and it's time to show you how the trends are progressing. So, including tonight's special elections, we have had 31 officially decided so far. The Democrats have now won 23 of them. They are +2 officially. The Republicans have won 8. They are down 2. So, the question is, are the Democrats overperforming in special elections, or are the Republicans overperforming relative to the 2024 presidential race? The answer is the trend is still very much in favor of the Democrats, and the gap is growing. So Democrats have overperformed their presidential election results now in 22 special elections. The Republicans have done it in only 3, and in 6 seats. Because of the dynamics of the race, we were not able to make a determination one way or another. So the trend continues in the Democrats' favor in special elections with overperformances. The signs are continuing to emerge of a Democratic year. Still got 8 months to go until the general election. Anything can happen. And to keep up to date on all of that and these special elections, stick around at Election Yard, like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. We'll see you soon.